friends, it's Amanda here. Today's video is a combo get ready with me and testing some new products. I have a couple of new things I'm really excited to use, namely this Fenty Beauty We're Even concealer and one of the new legendary Diversa palettes. This is the Earthwood palette that they did in collaboration with Tina from the Fancy Face. So I'm using this palette on my eyes today. I'm testing this We're Even concealer for the first time. I also have a couple of other products here that I reviewed earlier in the month that I want to continue testing so that I have a really good solid opinion on those when my February rankings video rolls around. So today's going to be a mixture of first impression, review, get ready with me, and mostly just having fun, putting on some makeup. So I want to start with just a close-up look at my bare skin because I am going to be doing a first impression of this. It's not a full in-depth review. It's not a full wear test, but I do want to give you an idea of the starting point of what my skin looks like with nothing on it. So let's start with just my freshly moisturized face, and then we'll get to the fun part, which is putting on the makeup.
As promised, this is my no makeup face. I have done my morning skincare, which includes some moisturizer and some sunscreen. I like to give that time to sink in before I apply any makeup. So, this is just what my face looks like. It is, it's a 38-year-old face. It's got some spots and redness and crinkles and wrinkles and pores and just being a human person. So, this is the starting point for what you need to picture when we start adding coverage so that you can get a sense of what that coverage actually is like. I am continuing to test this CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. I feel like I'm really getting the hang of how to get this to work best for me. I did do a wear test with this and it was sort of middle of the road for me on my wear test day, but when I'm going to do my monthly rankings, I need to have used things several times to give myself a sense of how the product performs. And I feel like I'm really getting the hang of using this, prepping my skin properly, and not concentrating it on my nose. Those are the main things. Now we're going to use this new Fenty concealer. This is the We're Even concealer. I use the shade 120N. There are 50 shades available, typical for Fenty. They give us a great shade range. This does have a funky shaped applicator. It's not hard to use or anything. I'm not sure quite what the purpose of this shape is, but it works fine. It's just noticeably kind of odd, different from a lot of concealers I've used. So this concealer is $30. I purchased mine from Ulta, but it is also available at Sephora on the Fenty site. I'll link it anywhere I can find it online if you're interested in this one. And I'm going in with a really light layer first because this is supposed to be a buildable medium coverage. So I think that the best bet for me is to add just a little bit and build it up to see how the coverage is and how the buildability is. Is that a word? Buildability. So here's a side by side with a little bit of that concealer on one side and then no makeup applied to the other side of my face. Now I'm going to start building it up a little bit and putting it around my face more because I am just using that little essence tint thing. So I do need a little bit more coverage in my opinion. I'm still just keeping this to one side of the face though, because I really find it helpful, even for me, to see what it looks like side by side with no concealer on the other side. This is particularly helpful because I'm not wearing any really foundation either. I am using my all-time favorite concealer brush. This is from Singe Beauty, and I love to try to keep things as consistent as possible when I'm testing new things. So I try to stick with my tried and true primers, my tried and true brushes or sponges or setting sprays or whatever it may be. I try to keep the variables to a minimum And I have to say that this brush just works well with every concealer. It makes everything blend out so easily. And this Fenty concealer is no different. You can see the side by side here. It's definitely brightening. I would say it is a buildable medium coverage, but you do have to build it up to medium, which I actually like because I do prefer a lighter coverage. I will say I am not getting a lot of the hydrating properties that I was hoping for. I think you can tell a little bit. It's not so much sinking into my skin, but it's good coverage, it's brightening, but you can sort of see it sitting on top of my skin a little bit in a way that it doesn't look flaky, crusty dry, but it just doesn't look hydrated, healthy, glowy skin either. So I like to give things many, many chances. I like to try to use them to the best of their ability. I really try to give everything a fair shot. I rarely give up on a product after one use, and this one is no different. I have, since filming this video, used it a few more times and found some, again, better ways to prep. One of the things that I've noticed is that putting a little setting spray on top and dabbing down is a great way to help this sink in and just look a little bit more of a skin-like finish. Since this is just trying new makeup and not a full on wear test, I don't mind interfering with this concealer. Normally, I wouldn't use a setting spray in a wear test, but I do still feel like this needs a little bit of finessing. It doesn't look terrible by any means. I think it looks pretty regular. And if you are somebody with a normal skin type instead of dry skin like I have, then this probably looks so flawless and perfect. For me, it's not quite hydrating and glowy enough for my preference, but I do think it looks pretty darn good, especially in that under eye area because it's not so thick and heavy. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look creasy. I think it looks brightening and nice and pretty cute. I have continued to give it a shot and I have continued to improve my opinion of the We're Even concealer since filming this. Speaking of continuing to use, these Finding Ferdinand blushes that Khaki did in the Après Ski collection are so addictive to me. I'm using the shade Sunrise today. I love the way that these look. I love the way they blend in. I have not put them down all month since I initially reviewed them, and they also work very beautifully with the other product that I can't put down this month, which is the Molten Metal highlighter from the MAC Lunar New Year collection. I love this stuff. I will throw on just a little skin tint and this on my cheeks and call it a day for like a very quick low makeup day type of look. Thank goodness, too, because this highlighter was super expensive. So I'm really happy that I'm using it and loving it so much. You will absolutely see this making an appearance towards the top of the February rankings. You're gonna see it make an appearance in the February favorites. I'm just sandwiching back and forth between the blush and the highlighter, and it just gives me the perfect casually sweaty cheek. And if you know me, you know that's what I'm looking for every day of my life. All right, it's time for eye makeup. First, I'm just prepping with my Ulta Matte Eye Primer. It's my favorite eye primer. I use it all the time. And we're going to dip into Tina's Earthwood palette. I have been wearing this palette so much. I think it's my most worn palette so far in February. This shade Earth is a beautiful, medium, warm, perfect crease color type of tan shade. So I'm building that into the crease area and then I'm going to start layering some purple shades on top. First, this dark sort of blackened plum color called Petal is so beautiful. It's this rich inky purple. I packed that on the outer part of my lid and it just layers on so beautifully. Dark purples can be really tough to do well, and this is a really well done dark purple. Then I used this lighter purple shade called Vitality, and I just put that on a big fluffy brush and piled it on top to blend the tan and the darker purple together. I love the way this turned out. This could have gone muddy on me so easily, but I rolled the dice and I feel like I won because this just ended up being such a lovely blend. I did go back and deepen up that outer part of the eye just a little bit. I'm a fan of darkening up that spot. I think it really pops my eye shape. Then I used this beautiful silvery bluish purple lavender shade all over the lid. I am hooked on colors like this. I love purple. I love silver. I love a silvery purple. That's probably not a surprise. This shade just applies so smooth and opaque with a little fingertip application. And then I wanted to add a pop of color to the lower lash line. So I used this ColourPop BFF cream gel chrome liner in the shade Power Trip in my lower waterline. And then I used Coast from the Earthwood palette to set that liner and also smudge all under the lash line. So I got that really shimmery turquoise green lower lash line. Then, to finish off my look, I curled my lashes and I added some of the L'Oreal Panorama mascara, another thing I'm testing out this month. And that's my finished look. I love the way this turned out. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the Oden's Eye eyeshadow formula. And this is one of many looks I've done with this palette at this point. It's still probably one of my favorites just because I'm such a purple girl at heart. But in general, I think this whole makeup look really works well for me. I was comfortable in it. It held up well throughout the day. I did add a little bit of the gloss in the shade Creativity, and I think it just works so well with my cheek color look. Everything tied together beautifully. I'm really happy with how all of these products performed, and I think I'm really hitting my stride with a few of them that took a little bit more figuring out. But in general, I'm pleased with this. This was a very successful day of testing new makeup, in my opinion. You'll have to let me know what you think.
I just showed these two pieces in action in today's video, but I have a whole swatch video with the rest of this Legendary Diversa collection, and I plan on making more videos in the future, so let me know what you want to see from this collection besides just swatches and lip swatches. I'm definitely going to do some more looks with these palettes, so keep an eye out for that. As usual, especially for things like foundation, concealer, mascara, that type of stuff, I have to wear it a lot before I have a fully formed review. So far, I would say the jury's out, kind of middle of the road for me so far. Let me know if it would be helpful to see a wear test for this. I know it's been out for a while, so maybe everybody just doesn't care and they've already decided. That's fine too. Just let me know if you think that would be helpful, if you want to see more about this. I'll be testing it myself either way. I think that this look turned out really cute. I'm happy with it. And I would love to know what you think. Have you tried any of these products? Do you want to see any more about the things that I featured in today's video? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Okay, the cheek combo is really working for me. Dewy and flushed and blushed and shimmery and casually sweaty, so couldn't be happier. Oh dang, why is my battery dying? I don't have time for that. Doesn't this eyeshadow kind of give Little Mermaid vibes with the purple and the little tealy turquoise greenish color? Am I just imagining that? Was having the biggest internal battle about which one of these I wanted to be my all over lid shade because this color is really doing it for me. I definitely need to do a green look. Cute, 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 cute. Love it. Okay. Focus, Amanda. Tina's palette, I think, will work so well as a companion to my Flora Story palette. I can see these just working so well together because there are some shades that are kind of similar, but definitely not the same. I don't like to do comparisons with active collabs because I feel like it's implying or somebody might infer that I'm saying that this collaborator copied their palette, which I never even want to get close to that assumption. Um, but I think that there are some shades in here that are similar but not the same. And I think that they could work really nicely together. My Flora Story palette is so messy. Each one of these has kind of tan shade, but Tina's is way warmer. Mine's a lot more neutral. This is Shroom from Flora Story. This is Earth from Earthwood. Clearly completely different undertones. And then we have the pale greens. And Heal from Tina's palette is a lot lighter and softer. So this is Clover from Flora Story. This is Heal from Earthwood. See, totally, totally different. Those are even more different. And then we both have a light purple. Hers is way more blue. Mine's more pink. Azalea, Vitality. They're in the same color genre, but they're definitely different. Kind of purple, kind of silver shade. Mine's Magnolia. Hers is Blossom. Hers is way more silver. I think mine reads a lot more purple on camera, and reads a lot more like bluish silver. Ugh, Misty and Moss together. This is Misty from Flora Story. Moss from Earthwood. I didn't give a very good swatch on that one, sorry. I can just see these blending so beautifully together. We both have a darker green, like neutral dark green matte, but Sage is definitely a lot more of like a dirty olive neutral. And then Leaves is more like a deep, almost bluish evergreen neutral green. So we have all of these shades that are in the same color family, but none of them are the same. Orchid's a lot more red-based, Petals a lot more of like a blackened brown purple. This is Orchid. Very, very red-based compared to Petal, which is a lot more of like a blackened plum. This whole color palette is primo. I love it. I didn't mean to do a whole comparison just there, but I can't stop thinking about how pretty these would be together. And then obviously there's that bright coral, that really bright shifty multi-chrome lime green. And her palette has a couple more neutrals than mine because she has that bronzy shimmer and then like a darker warm brown matte shade. So obviously in their entirety, they're a lot more different, but when you pick and choose those certain purple and green colors, I just think these are such nice companions. So it's no wonder that I'm so drawn towards this. Ooh, 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 ooh. I have a zit in my ear and it always hurts so bad. You know what I mean? You ever been there? You been there? You know what I'm saying? Sorry for yelling about my ear zit. Okay. That's it. Thanks for watching. You're cool, you're special, and you are fancy. Just like Tina's face. And you know what? Also like Tina's face, which I love. I love your face. I'll see you soon. Bye.